So, what are objects? Right here on line 11, we have an example of an object. Right here on line 14, we have an example of an object. Like I said before, every variable you create in C# is technically an object. Now, there are differences between different kinds of objects, but that isn't important right now. What's important to understand is that an object is essentially a variable. Now, this isn't necessarily true for all programming languages, but it is true for C#, which makes describing this sort of stuff a lot easier. So we see an example right here of what constitutes an object, because we have an object right here, int list, line 14, and we have an example of us invoking methods directly on that object. Line 15, 16, and 17, we invoke the add method on the int list object. So that is an example of a behavior that is programmed into any object that has the type of list. We also see another example of some behavior we have on the list objects. Right here in line 19, we do .count. Now, .count is a bit of data that we are retrieving from the object. So, on this on what we're looking at, we are seeing an example of being able to invoke behavior on an object, and we're also seeing an example of being able to retrieve data from an object. So an object is nothing more than a bag of data and associated behavior. Just like a car, anything in the real world is really those two things. A car is nothing more than a behavior and data.